Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Normal Baseball Podcast. My name is Lewis. That's Alex. And today we're going to be talking about the fact that the Los Angeles Dodgers have signed Blake Snell to a 5-year deal. We're going to talk about the contract. We're going to talk about how it affects the Dodgers. Most importantly, how it affects the rest of the free agent class moving forward. Alex, how are we doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. The Dodgers have done it again.
Mm-hmm.
They've used their Superman abilities to get a top free agent for an absurd amount of money. And it's a scary thing, but I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Let me tell you, the news dropping 11 p.m. on our time, East Coast time, was insane. I was basically getting ready for bed at that point, and all of a sudden, Jeff Passan hits me with the notification. Left-hander Blake Snell and the Los Angeles Dodgers are in agreement on a 5-year, $182 million contract. Pretty good payday for Blake Snell. Long time coming for him. What do you think about him finally cashing in and getting that contract that we've known he's deserved for about 3 or 4 years now?
Yeah, I mean it really is good for him because last offseason he had this problem where teams did not want to pay the high asking price for him. Just because, he did win the Cy Young, but there was this, stigma that he couldn't pitch deep into games and health and stuff. So he went to the Giants. Yes, he went late, and he proved that he could still do it. He proved he could do it no matter where he goes. That was his third team that he completely dominated with. He started slow on the Giants, but again, he didn't get that spring training that every other player gets. And he opted out of the next 2 years and $62 million of the Giants contract. But that's why he had the player opt out after the first year, because he said, I think I'm going to pitch well enough to opt out of this contract and get something bigger. And that's exactly what he did. And it's been a long time coming, like you said, for Blake Snell.
Yeah, it was, and the fact that, like you said, he did dominate and prove with his time with the Giants that he can pitch, deeper into games, can be that big game guy, that guy that can go as long as you need him to. Throwing his first career no hitter, of course. Congratulations to Blake Snell on that. He has proved that he is a headline free agent. He is your ace. And now the fact that the Los Angeles Dodgers have this Blake Snell monster, the Snellzilla, some call him, I think that pretty hands down, you can say now the Dodgers rotation, even right now, before re signing other key pieces in free agency, have the best starting rotation in baseball.
Oh, yes, for sure. I mean, right now it consists of Yoshinobu Yamamoto in no particular order, Shohei Ohtani, Tyler Glasnow, and now Blake Snell. And then your fifth, you can have one of either um, Tony Gonsolin or Bobby Miller, or in my opinion, we still can't rule out Roki Sasaki signing with this team come January,
Oh,
which is kind of insane if they do wind up signing Roki Sasaki, because that deal is not a big deal. It would be a very cheap deal because he's under 26 years old. So there's definitely that possibility. It's a large possibility, and it would make this rotation even crazier than it already is.
the thing
Because just
that's
those first four, I mean, all four of those guys could be an ace. All four of those guys could be your ace,
oh yeah, yeah,
and they
and
have a rotation full of them.
and just to remind anyone who's listening who might not know about Roki Sasaki, he's coming over from the what is it, the Japan Baseball League, right?
The NPB.
The NPB. He's coming over from NPB at under the age of 25 or 26, which by MLB's rules, he has to sign a basically minor league contract. But whatever money he does get paid is from your international signing bonus pool money, which does reset sometime in early January. And Manfred himself has already come forward and said, hey, Sasaki's probably not going to sign until after January 15th, which after I read that, I was like, oh, he's going to the Dodgers. Now that Blake Snell is also there, he's going to walk in, be their 5 starter, start 28 games, and walk to seemingly one of the easiest championships we might ever see, barring health, of course.
Yeah, I mean, that was another thing that a lot of people were concerned about. What does this mean for the rest of baseball? And is this going to be, just another easy year for an easy championship for the Dodgers? And if they sign Roki Sasaki, and even if they don't sign Roki Sasaki, it certainly looks like that. Um, Yeah, and again, just going back to Roki Sasaki, just to emphasize how good he is, a 2.02 ERA in 4 seasons in the NPB. So I can't blame him for wanting to come over here. He'll pitch well over here and get a big contract, once that first contract is up, once he turns 26. This I want to talk about this Dodgers team and what they're going to do from here, other than Roki Sasaki, because well, actually, first we could talk about Blake Snell's contract a little more. It's the third largest contract for a left-handed pitcher in baseball history, in Major League Baseball history, rather,
Clap it
and
up
a
for
lot of
Snell.
the money is deferred. What?
Clap it up for Blake Snell on that. He deserved it.
Yes, and a lot of the money is deferred as well, which is what we saw with the Shohei Ohtani deal, which allows them to now go out and get more free agents without going over the luxury tax they would have if some of that money wasn't deferred. I believe 62 million of this contract is deferred, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it gives the Dodgers a lot of space to now go out and, make that other free agent signing, whether that be bringing back Teoscar Hernandez or Tommy Edman, Tommy Edman's still there. Bringing back the Teoscar Hernandez or some of their other players who are free agents now.
hmm I do also want to hit on the fact that there are some clauses within the deal. We do have a limited no trade clause. I wonder, that usually means that there are certain teams that Blake Snell would be accepting to getting traded to prior to signing the contract, which I can imagine that those are all the big market, big name teams, or it's like just the teams on the West Coast. Who really knows for sure? But that'll be something to keep an eye on. $52 million signing bonus is split across the 5 years of the contract, bringing the contract value to an estimated 160 to 165 million dollar range. Which, if you're the Dodgers, you look at that and you're like, hey, we'll take that after the deferrals and everything. That's a pretty good deal. And most importantly, it was
Yeah,
reported
for
that
sure.
after Snell did sign with the Dodgers and he announced it himself, which was really cool, it was reported the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Orioles were all in on Blake Snell. Now, Blake Snell set a pretty good
Yeah.
market. What? Two questions for you. One, why did one of those three teams not up their offer? Because all three of them do need starting pitching. And two, who who's the pivot move after being in on Blake Snell for these three teams and now not getting him? Who do you think they pivot to?
Well, to answer the first question, why didn't they offer him more or the same deal? You got to think about how the Dodgers were able to pull this off with the $52 million signing bonus, which, by the way, Blake Snell lives in Washington State, which has no state income tax. So he's making all of that 52 million. And then in addition, the Dodgers have this deferred money thing figured out.
Mhm.
They know what they're doing. And on top of that, the Dodgers just won the World Series. They're really not losing that much talent this offseason. And I'm assuming Blake Snell at this point in his career wants to win. The Rays weren't winning when he was there. Um, and then, the Padres, like he hasn't won a World Series. He hasn't climbed that mountain. And the Dodgers do give him the best outlet to do that. He stays on the West Coast. And then to answer your second question with those teams, Yankees, Orioles, Red Sox, and Blue Jays or whoever, the pivot, there's still a
Just the
lot of
AL
big
East.
free there's still a lot of big free agent pitchers out there. You still got Corbin Burns. You still have Max Fried. I
Jack
still think
Flaherty.
there's more options out there. Jack Flaherty. The only options that have been taken off the table so far are Yusei Kikuchi and now Blake Snell. So there's still plenty of free agent pitchers out there, and they have time to make pivots. I did see the Yankees. They might have been more in on him, but according to what reporters are saying, John Heyman, I believe, said it. Their full focus is on retaining Juan Soto.
Yeah.
So Snell would have been, maybe a plan B in that scenario that they didn't get Soto, but they still think that they're going to get Soto. That sweepstakes is nowhere near over. So I think that really did play a great role in their pursuit of Blake Snell.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. I will say, just thinking about how Blake Snell set the market, like I said earlier, I think it's a pretty. If you're looking at that and you're Corbin Burns, Max Fried, and Jack Flaherty, you're very happy with that. Blake Snell got a very, very hefty payday for being a guy on the other side of like what some people would call his prime, considering that next season is going to be his age 32 season. Good deal, obviously. I wonder if that means guys like Corbin Burns, Max Fried, and Jack Flaherty are going to sign bigger contracts that like really take them to their age 37 season. Like I think that this is the only time that these three remaining like top of the line pitchers will hit free agency now that Snell signed this deal, which I think is a very very good sign if you're those three guys as well as if you're any of the teams that are going to try to sign one of these top three free agents. It looks really good right now. Hey, you want a 10-year deal, you want an 8-year deal, you want to just remain with the Yankees, with the Dodgers, with the Padres, the Red Sox, Orioles, if you want to remain with us for the rest of your career, I'm in on that. That's awesome. And I'm excited to see now what the market looks like.
Yeah, well, I don't necessarily agree that this is a good thing for the market because this is a lot of money and this is a bit of a wacky contract. So now the asking prices for a lot of these pitchers is going to be a lot higher than it was going to be before this
Um,
contract was signed.
I think
For
that's
sure. This
for
is a huge deal. This is a gigantic deal with that signing bonus, with the deferred money. This definitely makes the market a lot different than it had been before, 11:30 p.m. last night.
yes, that I can agree with. But I do
And
think
some
that these guys, Corbin Burns and Max Fried especially, I don't think there's a world in which you overpay for them because they are guys that have earned every last dollar.
and you know what? I'm not going to disagree with that, but then, they're not the only two free agent pitchers left.
That's true.
There's still a ton more free agents. There's, guys like who are expected to get, a good chunk of money like Nathan Evaldi. Who else? Sean Manaea, Luis Severino, Shane Bieber is a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Flaherty, we mentioned. But those guys are going to be asking for a lot more money. And Walker Bueller, they're going to be asking for a lot of money because of this Blake Snell contract. And not that they weren't going to be asking for a lot of money, but I think it does change some things in the market.
It raised the floor of what the asking price will be for the remaining pitchers now. I think that's a fair statement.
Yeah, no, I think you're right on that. And going into the more of the Dodgers as well, I'm interested to see where they go from here because if they think they have Roki Sasaki nailed down, that's not too much money. I'm interested to see if they still push for Juan Soto because they do, as of yesterday like afternoon. I don't know how the Blake Snell deal affects this, but they did have an offer put in for Juan Soto.
Yeah,
So I can't imagine that they would have offered Juan Soto that contract and been like, oh, but we can't. We have to take away the offer if we sign Blake Snell. So that means that they still have an offer on the table for Juan Soto, which is a scary thought.
it does not surprise me that they do have an offer in for Juan Soto, considering how much they've been loving using this whole deferral payment method. However, I don't see a world in which Soto does sign with them if it is only like if it is a not as dramatic as Shohei, but definitely a like deferred contract situation. I think, especially knowing Scott Boras, who is not Otani's agent, who is Soto's agent, wants the money now, and I think that's a fair statement to make. If you
I
look at
agree.
their
I think
lineup,
I think Soto wants that money. I don't think he wants to do the deferred payments.
no, in all reality, he like we just said does not want to do deferred payments. If you look at their lineup right now, you're talking about replacing James Outman, who on Fangraphs is projected their number 9 hitter and their right fielder. You're talking about replacing him with arguably a top 5 hitter in baseball to go alongside four other top 5 hitters or three other top 5 hitters in baseball. Sorry, Will Smith. But that's just insane to even think about. And the Dodgers, like you said, are not going to be out on him. I'm curious as to what that contract might look like. considering that they
Yeah,
do have wiggle room. What do you think?
you mean just specifically from the Dodgers?
Yes, from just the Dodgers right now.
Yeah, I don't even have a guess, to be honest. I don't know what this Dodgers team anymore. They seem to just, figure out different ways to do things with money. And I don't know. I don't think it's a predictable thing. I mean, think about the Shohei contract. Everyone saw that and said, never in my life would I have expected this.
Yeah.
So I don't know what their offer could have been. I think it's interesting. Did you see, by the way, Juan Soto's Instagram post from yesterday,
Oh yes, announcing his
where he announced
partnership.
that he signed? Yeah, and he had me.
Good
Because
troll.
when you think about it, it showed with Blake Snell later in the day, evidently. Um, Players can announce their signings on Instagram themselves or on social media themselves. It's not like that's not a crazy thing. It's not that hard to keep it from journalists from finding out.
Well, the
We
first
saw it
big
with
one to
Shohei
do it, yeah,
last
was
year.
Shohei.
Well, I think Bauer did it before that,
Well, sorry, Shohei's
right?
contract
Didn't
was
Bauer do
bigger.
it with his Dodgers deal?
I
Well,
don't
yes,
I don't
but
have any
Bauer's
idea.
deal was gigantic too.
Yeah, I don't remember, to be honest. I do remember though exactly where I was when Shohei Ohtani posted that on Instagram. I actually remember you texting me, "Oh my God, check Shohei Ohtani's Instagram," because
Yeah,
it
no,
was just
you know what?
unbelievable.
I'm grateful that I was in the probably small majority of people who um just happened to be loading up Instagram seconds after he posted it. But I didn't even see this. I mean, I was on the plane and I got off the plane and I'm in the car and I just I saw the Jeff Passan tweet. And I was like, oh, they've done it again. They did it again.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, this rotation is insane because you have Shohei coming back. I mean, realistically, Shohei's your ace.
Oh yeah.
Then this is my order I'd put it in. Shohei, Blake Snell, Yoshi, Glasnow, or rather Glasnow, Yoshi, and then Sasaki would be fifth.
Really, I would do
I think
Shohei
Yoshi proved
1.
himself.
I would do
Yeah.
Shohei 1. Then I would do Killian, Tyler Glasnow, Murphy at 2. Then Snell, then Yamamoto, then Gonsolin.
Snell, then Yamamoto. No, I think Snell's there. I don't know. See, the thing is that they're all aces, so this could really be interchangeable no matter what way you put it,
Maybe
and
it's
it
just
would
like
make sense.
they'll play like a rock paper scissors before every game. Like, hey, you feel good to go? Let's best 2 out of 3 right now. I think that's what it'll be like. Could there be a
Is
world?
Roki?
Who knows?
Could there be a world? What?
Could there be a world like where it is just like a play it by year? Dave Roberts has this
No,
beautiful
no. They'll
luxury
they'll put together
of just
they'll put together a 5-man rotation. They'll
well, they
set
already
it in
said that they're going
stone.
to do a 6-man, which means that
Okay,
everybody will
even if
be
they do
getting
a
an
six
extra
man,
day of rest, which is pretty good.
even if they do a 6-man, they'll definitely set that in stone. They'll figure that out. Maybe six will be kind of by committee. Barring that, if they sign Roki Sasaki, I think that he will be their 5 starter,
Oh
and then I think
yes,
six will be by committee. If they don't, 5 and 6 will flip between I think the three of Gonsolin, Dustin May, um,
Kershaw
Gavin
whenever he
Stone.
resigns.
Yeah, Kershaw when he winds up re-signing because he definitely will. But yeah, I mean the rich get richer, the Dodgers get better, the champions add to their arsenal. It's a scary thing, but it's smart from the Dodgers. I mean, what do you want them to do? Not go out and go get better if they can?
Yeah, I could not agree with you more on that. I love the signing. Obviously, like I said at the top of this episode, Blake Snell has more than earned this money. He has, been an ace for quite some time and has not been getting paid like it. I'm so happy to see that he is finally getting paid by it. So great job and congratulations to Blake Snell. We talked
Yes,
about the
congrats.
fact that this lineup, this rotation, excuse me, like we both said, has essentially 3 guys that can be a number one on any other team, and then they're number 4, 5, and possibly even
I
six.
think no, go on, go
Their
on.
4, 5, and possibly even their 6 could be number 2 or 3 starters on other teams. It's insane how good this rotation is. I will say I am very, very excited to watch that first game where Snell pitches in San Francisco, to watch that first game where Snell pitches in San Diego. Like, the Snell was a guy who dominated and was loved by fans in both of the Dodgers like rival cities, and now he signs this big deal with the Dodgers, and now he's gonna lay it all out there, and that'll be a fun watch.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. I think it's going to be fun. Um, I was going to say you can also watch him pitch in the Trop this season, but you can't. uh, but yeah, it's all looking good for the Dodgers, and I forgot what I was going to say. I'm happy for Blake Snell, obviously, and yeah, I mean that's all I really got.
Yeah,
I think
that's what I got.
that's really all that's going on with free agent signings right now. That this is the first big free agent signing of the offseason. Sorry, Yusei Kikuchi, but
Well, let's not forget
it's
also
exciting. Hopefully,
the Dodgers had a responding move after Blake Snell signed, signing Matt Stassi to a minor league deal. So expect a homer off of
right,
Blake
right.
Snell.
That's huge. But yeah, I think this hopefully will get the ball moving with free agents. It's a little tough because I did see that a lot of free agents are holding out until Soto signs, but that might not necessarily be because of that might not mean pitchers. That might have just been position players holding out until Soto signs because he sets the market for them as well, and he's going to get a lot of money.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the pitchers should not be too affected by this, like you said. So I'm
but
excited to
it
see.
just it would just become a matter of similar to Blake Snell, like a pitcher wants to win. Maybe let me wait to see where Soto goes to see if I maybe I could follow him, and we'll have a really good chance of winning.
I guess. And one last thing that I do want to say, I did see a lot of people talking about like, oh, it's unfair that the Dodgers can just go out and get whoever they want. The Dodgers, and this is something that I was reading about from a MLB beat reporter. The Dodgers have essentially made a perfect market. They've capsulated the entirety of Japan, right, with Shohei and
Yeah.
Yamamoto. They have all the stars that the people in the United States want to watch too, with Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Will Smith, Ohtani even. Now they
Y-
have this luxury of making these hundreds of millions of dollars every season, which they're allowed to spend on payroll. They've built a perfect economy in terms of trying to win baseball games. And yes, was it
Yeah.
done through dishing out millions upon millions of dollars? Yes. But every baseball
It
owner
was
is a
done through
billionaire.
deferred money.
Well, yes, that too. But it was also done through the fact that this money will get paid out. It Every baseball owner is like a billionaire. Baseball team owner is a billionaire. They all have the opportunity to do something close to this. Obviously not the exact same thing, but I think they have the opportunity to do the same thing. And it's just insane that people are like, "Oh, there needs to be a salary cap." No, there doesn't. That's the beauty of baseball is that we can have a team like this, but guess what? A team that's on like probably what $128 million payroll is going to beat them in 5 in the NLDS. Like that's the beauty of baseball.
Well, we said the same thing going into last year, and that didn't happen. So
Only time will tell. Only time will tell.
listen, we doubted the Dodgers because of their previous postseason failures, but it was only until they got there first. And once they got, I think now that they've gotten there first, there's no stopping them.
No turning back.
Unfortunately,
Welcome to this
not
era of
necessarily.
Dodger
Unfortunately,
baseball.
not necessarily. Unfortunately, I like watching this team, but yeah, no, it's time for Dodger baseball at all times.
Well, I'm certainly
All
in
right,
on that, and I think that is
yeah,
where we can wrap it up for today. So, thank you
yeah.
guys so
I
much for
think
watching. What?
no, nothing.
Thank you guys so much for
Thank you
watching.
guys for watching.
Oh, he wants to do the outro. All right, Alex, take it away.
No, I don't care.
Okay.
I was gonna say my goodbye first, but
Oh, please
no,
do
no,
that.
it's
Please
okay.
do that. I know
No,
that
I
I
already
always
did.
do.
I just did. We'll see you guys next time.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned in. Hopefully, more episodes will be coming in more frequently, and big free agents will be signing. Have a good one, guys. Peace.